I am gonna bring up Navigation Nowhere. You guys get to meet Michael. I'm so excited. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we got some time to get on and talk.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I know that you are an extremely busy guy.
Oh, I mean, no, I just we like to just keep busy with building and people and the community. So we got like 3 rigs out front right now, and travelers always coming through. So I mean, it's always a fun show around here.
Well, you're doing conversions for other people then? Is that how
Uh,
your pandemic's going?
I'm helping some friends. So, like the friend who's here right now, their solar system actually like almost caught fire a week ago or so, and they were in the area, so they stopped by. So we're actually kind of doing a bit of a solar rebuild for them and helping out. So we don't want anyone burning down on the road or having any solar
Oh,
issues. So we're doing that project right now and just helping out there. So it's it's a time where not everyone's traveling so quickly and stuff. It's kind of a good opportunity to kind of get some house maintenance done.
yeah, definitely. That's one of the best ways to make the time pass for this whole worldwide event, right?
Yeah.
Find other things to do because you're not going to have a chance once it's done.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Because then we're all gonna just want to travel and go do things.
Hmm. And I think we're all going to appreciate it so much more.
Oh yeah,
I,
yeah.
I am thinking I'm hearing a little bit of feedback every now and again.
Uh-oh. Uh
You don't have your headphones this time.
no, I took them out. I took them out just so that we didn't have any issues.
Okay, no,
So,
it's good.
yep.
I just won't talk so loud. Oh, Keely, thank you for coming in, finding happiness in all you do. It's so great to see you guys. So, I actually have some pictures. Did you know that I had some pictures?
Oh yeah, I knew that
Okay.
someone sent over, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I am going to pull them up and let's just kind of start our conversation from there. I have questions, Michael, but it's like there's so many things that I want to ask you. I just want to kind of see how it naturally goes.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull up these pictures.
Well,
Aw, what a cutie patootie. You know, I've been trying to figure out a way to get more female viewers, so I got a lot of cute young men on my show lately.
I mean, we're gonna have Badge, you're gonna have Jax, you got Steampunk Steve. I mean, you got the rally. So
Yeah, yeah. Because most of my viewers are male, although this week it's been increasing with females, which is, I like to see more of a balance. So this was just my way to address it, right?
yeah, there.
So let's go to the first picture. This is your first
Yeah,
bus?
yeah. This is so that's Navi. That's my first bus, I guess we could say, because I'm currently actually building another one. It's a short bus, so that's my home of 4 years. I traveled and lived in that bus for 4 years. I still have it. It's actually right behind me outside the window. And yeah, that bus has gone over 150,000 miles. I've gone to every state in the U.S., all provinces in Canada, and that bus has definitely been a great companion to me for a long time. But that
Like, did you
photo,
even go to Alaska?
yeah, yeah, I went all the way up. Yeah, that was the first place I went. The day I finished that thing, I got in it, drove straight to Montana, crossed the border at Sweetgrass, and headed north. And that was the first thing I did.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my, how long did it take you to travel all the states and provinces?
Well, I mean, over the course of 4 years, I didn't go too fast, not too slow. Kind of went with the travels, but yeah, I mean, all over. The only state wasn't Hawaii because I like to say buses don't float well, so didn't
Yeah.
exactly get there at that one.
That's funny. So Navi, that's the name of your bus?
Yeah, yeah, that one's Navi, and the blue one that I'm building currently is just I named it Ivan, which is Navi spelled backwards. I figured it would be funny.
Oh, that is so cute.
Yeah.
So are you going to sell Navi after and move into the blue one?
Nope, I am going to be moving into the blue one.
Well, we
More of a
froze
family rig
there.
because that rig I built with my parents and my siblings. So that's a bus that I think we're going to keep with the family. My parents actually lived in it last year for like a few weeks. They went down to Key West and back and took it on some trips while I wasn't using it. So I think it's just going to be a family rig and something that we just enjoy when we want to go on bigger trips. Because the short bus only sleeps probably going to sleep like 4 people, where that bus can sleep a lot more. So I guess if
Hmm.
we want to go on a family vacation, we'll take that one.
Well, that's so nice to have it. And I was thinking, like, even with my ambulance, and I've named her and it makes it more personalized. And it's like, gee,
Mhm.
I don't know how that would work. I don't know how I would feel about letting her go, right? Because you invest
Yeah,
so much of yourself into your build.
I agree. It's very. I don't think I could ever. I don't. I just can't. I don't know. I can't see myself selling it. It just like means too much to myself and my family that it's just like, I'd rather. I'd rather just keep it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what
Yeah.
we got next. Ooh, tell me about this picture.
Yeah, so this is taken down in Georgia. This is actually my friend was climbing a fire tower when this photo was taken. We didn't. I only recently got a drone. I didn't have one, so whenever we wanted to take a shot like this, we just climbed really tall objects and took a photo. But
Oh my goodness.
I had 4 people living on the bus with me at this point, and we were heading down to go. I think we were visiting Dale, who I think I saw was on this live. So we are actually going
Okay.
down to see him.
So you have like a deck on the back?
Yeah, yeah. It's that one's 8x10 rooftop deck. It's mounted into the frame rails of the bus, and I mean that thing is good for cliff jumping, hanging out, picnics, whatever you want. I mean, it's good for anything.
8 by 10, that really gives
Yeah,
me a perspective of the size of the bus because eight
yeah.
by 10, that's not much smaller than my interior space.
I know. Yeah, that bus is huge. In my opinion, at
Yeah.
this point, it's 37 feet from the nose to the end. And the interior spacing from like the back of the driver's seat to the back wall is 26 feet. So I mean, it's a lot of space. But I mean, now I'm gonna go down to like 13 feet, so a little bit different.
Oh, that is going to be such a change for you.
Yeah,
So, how much solar? You have 3 panels. How much solar is that?
yeah. So this bus has 480 watts on the roof, which isn't necessarily I would say enough for that for what I'm powering on the bus for what it is. The way I was living for 4 years, it was definitely I learned to live on that system, not necessarily like an over the top large system on that bus. It was just enough to kind of boondock, get around, and kind of live the life I wanted to live. But yeah, it's only 480 on a large bus. Which, if anyone out there is wondering, I wouldn't say that I was like super comfortable with like extra power per se. It was kind of
Well,
always something we were watching. What?
how many amps battery storage do you have?
480 in AGM. So like I only had 220 usable or 240 usable
Okay.
AGM batteries.
Yeah. So, what kind of mileage do you get with a giant bus?
Well, it actually gets 10 to 12 on that big one.
Oh,
Which
really?
yeah, yeah. When I first bought it, it was only getting like 5 to 6 about. But we did a whole differential change out and some gear ratio changes, which really kind of upped the speeds of the bus and the gas mileage. So what I figured was the first trip, as I mentioned before, was to go to Alaska. So I started playing with the math and realized that if I spent the money to just upgrade my differential to like a better gear ratio that I wanted, I would actually, after so many miles, save the money back. And pretty much by the time I got to Alaska and halfway back to where I started, I already like saved half the money in gas costs for what I paid for the differential. So it was like a perfect win.
You are so smart figuring all that out, right?
Well, it's the
That's
people around me. I didn't know really much when I started. It's more like people like I know Badge is on here, my dad and a lot of other people who definitely know a lot about this stuff. That I'm just a really good listener and they're really good teachers. So
well, how this is your first build then, right?
Mhm.
And how old were you when you started building this?
That bus I started building. I was 23 or I think yeah I think it was I think I turned 23. No, I turned 24 the day after because I bought it May 7th and then I turned 24. Yeah. So it was
Oh,
like my birthday
wow.
present to myself. I bought myself a school bus.
You bought yourself a home.
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. My parents were
Oh,
so happy.
so what prompted you to buy that school bus?
I originally I was looking into doing research work for tech companies. I was previously in graduate school and doing a lot of academic work and tech research. And when I finally finished school and I was looking for work, I started looking, you know, the typical like New York City, blah blah blah. And then I immediately was like on an interview with a company. And then when I hung up the phone, I looked at my dad and I was like, I'm not taking that job. I was like, that sounds horrible. Like, I don't want anything to do with going to the city and rent and all these crazy things. And I was like, I have to find something else. And
Yeah.
I started just kind of racking my brain with kind of going down the whole tiny living direction. And my dad one day was like, why don't you buy a school bus? And I was like, that's a great idea. And a week later, I had a school bus in the driveway and had no clue what I was doing.
Wow. I always have people ask me, what do my friends and family think? And I've got great family support, and you do too, right?
Yeah.
Like your
Yeah.
family all around is a big part
Yeah.
of everything.
Yeah. I think my brother's on here, actually. I think I saw his name come up.
That's awesome. Family makes all the difference. It really does.
Yep.
Gina said, wait, stop. Michael's not even 30?
Nope.
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 Little bit younger. Oh, is Ryan. This
Yep.
is.
Yep. That's my brother. There he is.
Well, hello. And my brother's in this stream as well.
There you go. It's a family stream.
Except my baby brother's not much older than you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hello, Rob on the road. I'm gonna go to the next picture. Sorry,
Yep.
I have so many questions. It's hard to
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, where is this?
Ooh, that's up in Rocky Mountain National Park. So that's just after the peak, going towards. Someone from Colorado is going to yell at me, but like I think it's towards Fort Collins. I think, like coming down like towards the east. But yeah, this is one of the first trips that my one friend on the left in the gray shirt. He's a PA, so he's always busy, always in the hospitals and stuff. And
What's a PA?
What? Physician assistant.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and he could never get on a trip, and this was the first time that he had some time off, and he called me up and was like, "Hey, can we go on a trip?" And I was like, "Where do you want to go?" And he was like, "I always wanted to go west," so we just literally just drove west the day he was free. We went out for like 2 weeks and then came back, and it was great.
That is so cool. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, that is the way life should be, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Oh my. Okay, let's see what we got here. Holy
Yep.
cow, how many people did you take with you?
So this is actually the same trip, but that's when we visited a friend's house up towards Steamboat, and that's like a pretty typical day on the bus. I mean, there's always people. I live by the theory that if like someone wants to come see the bus or hang out, I try to say yes and just have a good time with it. And all these people I met traveling and made good friends.
Have you made a lot of friends from all your travels on the road?
I think almost all my friends, most of my really good friends at this point are currently living on the road. I think, almost all of them. I mean, I have friends from college and high school, of course, but all of my friends post-graduate are pretty much people that I met on the road, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you in that tent?
No, my friend Luke is, who's actually with me. He's helping me work on the bus. This photo is there's such a funny story behind this photo. This was the photo that is hands down the worst day on the bus of my entire life and everyone else's.
Oh no.
Has been the absolute most viral photo I've ever posted in my entire life. It has like gone everywhere, but it's so funny because it's such like a happy photo, but it was actually like the worst day ever. And the reason is because we were boondocking down in Big Key Pine or Pines. I don't know, one of the keys. I always forget. But we were camping and like these no-see-ums, which people from Florida will probably know what they are.
Those little tiny flies that get through the screens?
Little bugs. And they got through all of our screens and we got destroyed all night in this spot. And it was like the worst night. None of us slept. We all woke up with like welts all over our bodies. And then we took this photo and it looks all happy. And it's really funny because we're all like, looks like we have chickenpox.
Oh no. Aw. But that tent, is that anchored into the wood?
No, we just put it up there and we have too many people. So right now there's actually 8 people living on the bus right now in this photo. We went down to Key West for Thanksgiving and we all had Thanksgiving in the Keys on my bus. But everyone who is in the bus lives on a bus. So they left their buses at Dale's house, who's one of our friends in the comments. And they all left their buses there and they all moved into my bus because I had enough sleeping. So then we just took my bus to Keys and had a good week.
That sounds so crazy to be going to the Keys for Thanksgiving because I'm from Canada, right? Like there is no way we're going out anywhere near water unless it's ice fishing.
Yeah,
Oh my
once in a
goodness.
lifetime. Once in a lifetime, we'll say on that one.
And here's another angle of your
Yep.
bus.
Yeah.
On the other side, though, let me just back up here.
Yep.
Is this, what is down here?
So that's a side table. It actually folds down. It clicks out of that side wood and then becomes like kind of like a bar height. So it's kind of like either like a cooking table or something that can be used as like a workbench or something like that. I actually built that because before I lived in a bus, I used to live in an SUV with a friend of mine. We traveled the country for like 6 months, and we had this like car table that would never be level. So we just got so annoyed with it. So when I built the bus, I figured if the bus is level, the table's level, and then I don't got to deal with it, and I don't got to put it away. So it was like the solution that I came up with, and it actually worked out great. And now I put it on all the kind of different rigs that I build because I just love having that outdoor space.
That is so cool. Oh my
So
goodness. Okay, let's see what else we got here.
yeah, who knows?
Where is this now? This is
Oh,
a bunch of buses.
yeah. So this was at a tiny house festival where there was like 20 buses there and a bunch of tiny houses and stuff. And I think this was down in Georgia, I want to believe, at the United Tiny House Festival. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, there's just so many cool buses there. Like the one in the middle was getting completed, but they came, and the one on the left was my friend Roman's. But they're just fun events because there's like so many different people in different stages of builds, and you get to like see where everyone's at, and it's so much fun to just kind of talk about what people are doing, what ideas they have. So I don't know. I like going to the big events and festivals and stuff because you meet a lot of people.
So how many, like other than this year, how many kinds of events and festivals like that do you normally attend?
Oh, besides this year, I have actually not attended any. I don't think there's really been any happening really. Oh, probably like 4 or 5 at least. Maybe more around the country while I'm traveling. If they're in the area and they're going on, I like to usually stop in because it's a great meetups and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I bet you that would be a ton of fun. Okay, now this is your
That's my
new
new
baby.
bus. uh,
Ivan.
I know he's such a good bus. Oh
Tell
man.
us about Ivan.
So Ivan is the bus that like after living in the big bus for so long, I've been like dreaming of this little shorty. I was just like, I just got to build one. And one day I was out in Utah with a friend of mine, Dean, and we were building a vintage camper. And I was laying in the vintage camper at night looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this one come up, and I was just like, I gotta have it, I gotta buy it. So it was actually in Jersey. So I called my dad and had him go buy it for me. And I was like, I'll Venmo you the cash. Just go buy it. Just like go get the bus. Don't ask anything. Like it's the perfect bus. So he just
No
went
matter
and
what, just buy it, even if you
yep, he
got to
just went
tow
and
it
bought it.
home.
And then I bought a plane ticket and came and picked it up. So that's the new bus right there. That guy's great. Yeah, so it's similar to the other one in terms of like some of the styling. I just really liked the style. I didn't build a new one to change the style per se. I really liked that already. It's more of I wanted to do different things with the layout and a couple upgrades of things I've learned over the years. So.
So why did you want a smaller bus?
Just mobility, actually. A lot of people who start traveling, they don't realize that if you're trying to really kind of get super off grid or through a lot of like national parks or I don't know, like just get into some crazy places that I know I've gone with like an SUV. A 37-foot school bus is just not easy. I've done it, but boondocking and trying to get into some like off-roading road is just not really possible. And also, like a lot of
Mm.
national parks have length restrictions where I didn't have like a car or a motorcycle attached, so I couldn't drive through like Glacier National Park. I had to like hitchhike my way through, or Zion National Park, for example. You can't get through some of the tunnels. So that bus, that the one that you just showed, Ivan, is actually perfectly 21 feet long. So 21
Okay.
feet is the legal length restriction for most national parks. So that bus is pretty much like has no restrictions at all. And
Oh,
the height of it, even with the rails, even though everyone on YouTube is always yelling at me about the rails, it's
because
only
it's so
10 foot
high?
two. Yeah, it's only 10 foot two. It just looks high. It's actually lower than Navi. So it's kind of funny that like it looks big, but it's actually
Yeah.
like totally fine.
So what is it, like 10, 9, 10, 8 that a person has to cap out for height?
13.6 actually would be the
Oh,
legal. Yeah, that's the legal height would be 13.6. But like, I mean, if you're, I wouldn't really go that high because you're just gonna cause problems for yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That'd
Oh,
be
I saw a
scary.
comment. Gina, the layout's coming out next week. I just finished the rendering.
Oh, and for anybody that doesn't already know, his channel link is in the description below. And I want to shout out to Going Green Mom, to Megan. She has been dropping the link to your tour, bus tour, to your
Oh,
channel. Every time you bring up some aspect, she drops a link for it.
oh, cool.
She's the most amazing moderator in the whole world. I am so lucky.
Well, thank you.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I have quite a Bob's Adventures dropping links right now too for you. Yeah, everybody's
Oh,
yeah. Rayleigh Creative Travels says that theirs is just over 13 feet, but it's 13.6.
yeah. So there. Wait. So ours is just over. Yeah, 30. Yeah. So I mean that's tall, but you. I mean you're only gonna have problems in like New Hampshire and Connecticut where they have low bridges. I mean
Just skip
I've
them.
I don't know. I've never had an issue out west. I mean, I'm sure someone who's a local out west somewhere, they might have some roads that they might tell you can't go down. But I never had an issue in 4 years in my big bus. I mean, I drove anywhere I wanted, and I can't think of one time that I ended up going down a road that I had to turn around or something. I don't remember any big issues going on, which is good to say, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So,
Um, Mayhem RV says it'll be cool to see what you designed for Saucy the Towboat Chef. You're designing for Saucy?
I was talking to Badge about that, but I think actually Wonder Boom might be building that one out now. I'm not sure. I was talking to Badge about it. I mean, if Badge wants to comment or something, or just text me. But yeah, I'm more than willing to help. That'd be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, I know she
Yeah,
definitely wants to buy something
yeah,
and get it done up. I guess there's such a big group of you, right? That everybody has their own expertise, like good at
yeah,
everything, but somebody has a specialty in different areas that she'll be set. She has
yeah,
so many
yeah.
great friends out on the road, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the fun part about the road is like you don't. I mean, there's just so many people out there who come from different backgrounds and skill sets that like. I mean, if you show up at an event or show up somewhere where there's a bunch of people, I mean, it's almost guaranteed that there's like some type of skill set in every field somewhere within a mile of you. like it's just like it's cool. I've met so many people where I'm like, you did what for a living? Like you know how to do what? And you live in a vehicle now? Like that's awesome. Or like I don't know, just cool people. Just go out and meet people.
You know, I think that's a thing that a lot of the general public doesn't understand. It's not a bunch of hippies. It's every walk of life
Oh yeah.
you can be find out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Steampunk Steve says, stay off any road called a parkway in New York or New Jersey, low bridges.
And tolls, Steve. They will get you. I grew up in Jersey. Trust me, I paid my fair share.
So I had seen you insulated with spray foam in your other bus. Did you do that in this one too?
Yes, yeah. I literally actually just got spray foam 2 weeks ago. So Ivan is now spray foamed and actually fully sheeted. So all the wood on the inside is now done. And now we're going to be starting to move over towards like cabinets and things of that nature and putting the walls up and going forward. So yeah, we're pretty. I mean, it's funny if anyone out there follows my build series, they'll know that it's going pretty slow for the beginning. But that's because it's mostly the prep work, because it's by making that beginning correct, the end just goes so fast. Like I sheeted the bus with my friend Luke in like no time because all the angles were already correct. All the measurements were already done. So it's like prep work is key because you don't have to go back and fix things and you can just steam forward ahead. So it's kind of fun now that like we have it sheeted. It's just a wooden box now that we can just go crazy for. So it's going to be fun.
Well, and it's awfully square, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty nice. What do you think of the spray foam? I was going to ask you about that because I've got some. Mine's almost like a styrofoam board, and in other spots I have the old pink stuff.
Yeah.
But was it worth it? Was it worth the cost to spray foam?
Yeah. I usually encourage people if they're looking to spray foam out to get a quote from a commercial company if they can, because like my blue bus, I got it sprayed, prepped, sprayed, and cut for $950. So I mean,
Oh.
it ended up being about $1.05 per cubic board foot, which is pretty average within commercial spray foam. And the thing is like I've done the math on it because I know like me and Badge have talked about this. We, the value of board insulation versus spray foam versus wool insulation, so on and so forth. There's positive negatives to each of them. In my opinion, when I'm looking at it for time, money, and insulation value, closed cell spray foam commercially is going to be the best option in my opinion, just because it's. I mean, has anyone's ever sprayed with like the Home Depot spray kits, it's a nightmare. You're going to spend so much time like trying to spray it, cleaning it up, getting all the mess. And
It sounds like you know me or something.
yeah, well, honestly, it's horrible. I've done it before. And like, at this point, like, I think it ends up costing almost the same as commercial spray foam anyway. And like, I'd rather, in my opinion, just pay someone the extra $100 and have them professionally spray it, cut it. It's like perfectly done. And like, I don't know. I've spent enough time cutting poly boards and like fitting them into squares and stuff, and then have condensation issues and I don't want to do it anymore.
There was some comments in there if anybody's helping with Saucy's build, to make sure there's no tents involved. Yeah, I saw those videos. She does not have any luck. Oh my god. I'm actually surprised she's working, I think, right now too. She probably got no service because she's usually here too. Yeah, Van City Adventure says that they do spray foam in all their house builds. Yeah.
It just, I don't know. And when you really break it down to like the art, because like if you do like polyiso board or any of those, you're gonna end up with like in a school bus, you're gonna get like maybe maximum like R10. And it's really not going to give you a full condensation seal for like all that moisture issues that you have in vehicles. Whereas like a spray foam, it's going to cost like more than the polyiso board. But my bus is like rated at an R21. So I got double the value, and it's a full condensation break over 1.5 inches. So it's like, I think it's worth it.
No, that sounds awesome. That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, it's something to look into. I mean, some people have problems with spray foam. They don't like it. I don't know. It's very permanent. So it's kind of hard to rework it once you spray it. But I don't
know. Now, how many heating sources do you have?
In the new bus or the old bus?
Okay, let's go with the old one first.
Okay, the old one just has a propane Suburban RV heater. That's it. That bus like is mostly like the Chase 70 degrees bus. I didn't really build it to travel all 4 seasons. At that point, the new bus is going to be completely rated for 4 seasons. It's going to have a wood stove, diesel heater, and then it technically will have an electric heater in the mini split, but I probably will never use it because it just pulls too much power.
So, okay, how many heating sources?
And the little bus will have a wood stove, like a tiny wood stove. Okay. And then I'll have a diesel heater attached in for more of like a main consistent heat. And then technically, my mini split has a heater in it, but I'm never going to use it because
your mini split's your air conditioner.
Yeah, the mini split air conditioner has a heater in it, but the electric heaters draw so much power, I'll probably never use it because it's kind of pointless on a solar system.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have the wood and the diesel too.
Yeah, the diesel heaters, they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So you had propane in the first one and you completely left propane out this time.
Yep. Yeah, propane as a heat source, I mean, I think with the small bus and just the space, like the heater's just really kind of big for like the larger RV ones. I didn't want to waste that kind of space. And I also didn't want to have as much propane storage because I'm really only using a stove. So I'd rather kind of just have like a smaller tank that can just power the stove for long periods than having to have a larger, propane storage to run the heater and stuff like that. So the diesel heater, we've already got a diesel tank. I fill the diesel tank all the time anyway.
Do you have it tapped into your diesel tank? The bus's tank?
It's tapped into the diesel tank. So pretty much when I fill my bus up, I'm also filling my heater tank up. And I mean, it's just easier to have less types of fuel I found in my travels, where like when you have like diesel and propane and, all these different, heating sources, you also have to carry that weight. You have to carry those sources.
Mm.
You have to find them. So one thing I learned was try to limit the amount of heat sources you have, or types of fuels you have, I'll say. So that's why I really like the diesel heaters and stuff, because ambulances, buses, vans usually drive in diesel anyway, so you can just tap into the tank, and that saves you a bit.
We'll have to talk to Badge if that's going to happen for me or not someday.
Oh, I know. Badge knows how to put those in. I know he does. He's good at it.
Oh, I know. He knows how to do everything. I'm just such a
Yeah.
pain in the butt. Hey, Russ, thanks so much for popping in today. Um, what was I gonna? So, okay, so you have a couple different sources of heat. So if you were to go off grid
Mm-hmm.
in cooler temperature, how long could you stay off grid then for the
In
temperature management?
So, I mean, my plan is indefinite. I mean, my green bus, I was off grid for pretty much 4 years, and I'd hope that I'm the same in the blue bus.
I mean, like in a row. Like some people are only prepared to be off grid for 5 days at a time or 10 days at a
Oh,
time.
I'll probably be, without having to like go get water or like anything like that. I mean, I should be able to go at least like 3 or 4 weeks. I mean,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, but I don't use a lot of water. I'm pretty sparing with my minimalism in terms of like usage. So, as long as I've got some sun and things like that, I'm pretty good.
We had a question earlier. What year are each of your buses?
That's the funny thing. I have bought I've actually bought 5 buses in my life now in the last 5 years, and every single one of them has been a 2004. Don't know why.
What?
I have not tried. It just happens.
It's a good year.
Yeah, I apparently, I don't know. Every time I bought a bus, I get the title, and I go in and I don't even look at it, and I'm like, huh, it's a 2004. And then I said before, I bought Ivan on Facebook Marketplace without looking at it. It was a 2004 when I picked it up.
That is so
Yeah.
funny.
So
Oh my
I don't know.
goodness.
So I don't know. I'm not saying go buy 2004 buses, but apparently they're a good year.
Well, it's been working very well for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Going Green Mom wants to know, how much water do you carry with you?
So Navi, my larger bus, has 130 gallons of fresh water, and it's racked underneath the frame rails of the bus, so it's external storage. So it's not good for winter, and the tanks would not be great. The blue bus, Ivan, it's gonna probably have about 50 to 60 gallons. I just haven't nailed down the exact tank I'm gonna get, so I'm not sure if it's gonna be somewhere between 40 to 60 on that. So, and I think that's more than enough.
So do you have a sink and tap and stuff like that in there then?
Not yet.
But you're going to?
Yeah.
So how are you going to do that? Are you using a foot pump, a hand pump, electric?
It'll be on a SureFlow, normal
12 volt?
1.5 gallon per minute, 12-volt pump. So it'll all be wired in. So I like to build my buses very. I like to call it like residential in a way, because I don't know, like whenever my parents come visit me or friends and stuff, I don't want them to have to ask how to like use a toggle switch or like how to use RV stuff. So I usually try really hard to like make all of my designs and functions to be very like intuitive, so that if someone comes and visits, they just flip the light switch where they know it's going to be, and there it is. And it's a residential light switch. I just use, standard switches that run 12 volt. So they look
That's
residential,
awesome.
and it's very clean to me.
So what are all your power draws going to be in this new bus?
So the big power draws would really mostly probably be the mini split. If I choose to run it off grid, that would draw quite a bit of power. The particular unit I have runs about 400 to 700 watts of solar dedicated. So, I mean, you could technically run it off of a solar system, but it wouldn't be long-term autonomous. It would be, for set times, maybe during the day. But besides that, everything in my entire bus at this point is pretty much 12 volt. I only have that one. The mini split's going to run a 120 line, and I have one outlet going to an office desk, just in case I have to like charge computers or batteries and stuff. But everything else is 12 volt on the entire rig, so it won't be too much.
According to Gina, you have all sorts of fancy lights and stuff, even on the deck.
Yeah, but they're 12 volt. They're 12 volt. It's all good. They're like.
Oh, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Like 0.7 amps. It's all good.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. I had just took a look at some of the numbers for views on your channel, and your video school bus buying guide
Yep.
Had 276,000 views.
Jeez. I didn't even know that, actually. I don't look at them much.
Oh, and it was like a week ago, I think, that I even looked that up. And you have only six of your videos are under 10,000 views. All the rest are over 10,000 views. That's phenomenal.
Well, thanks for everyone for watching, I get. I don't know. I don't have to.
No, but that is amazing. That is so
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, I think it shows the community of people who are a part of this. I mean, it's just cool to see that many people that are interested in this lifestyle, that are a part of this lifestyle. I mean, I know when I first started living in a school bus, I mean, I don't know how many people are on like Instagram and stuff, but when I started out on building this bus, I mean, I had like 5 friends on Instagram who were building buses, and it was like the cool thing where we're like, oh man, you build a bus too? And now it's like awesome because there's like thousands of people building buses, and it's like it's been cool to see how so many like just how many people are finding this lifestyle and really investing in it. So I mean, I feel like those numbers just show the growth of the community and where it's headed. So that's fun.
I think, though, there is some really good quality to your
Well,
videos, too,
we
right?
have fun with them. We have a good like even in my videos like I don't know, a lot of people I know who watch them. I always have other people a part of my projects. They're always in the videos, and I feel like the community is what draws people in because that's what it's about. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, most of the videos that I film are not just me. I think probably less than like 25% of them are only me as the person in the video. It's usually including other people. I even think like 2 videos or 3 videos ago, I actually, Dale, who might still be in the comments, I actually let him vlog the entire video, and I just did the B-roll, and I did like pretty much like I did like mini talking pieces, and I let him film most of it in terms of the talking. And we had a really fun like back and forth way of doing it. But like it was just kind of fun to include someone else and show their
Mm-hmm.
perspective, where it's not just always my ideas or my thinking, because it's like kind of fun to show the other people that are a part of it.
Well, Dale actually is asking, have you swapped the back door yet?
No, I haven't. Why are you ruining that, Dale?
Okay,
Jeez.
what's up with your back door?
So the back door on buses, they traditionally will swing towards the passenger side, and I'm going to be taking it off the hinges and swinging it so it opens towards the driver's side, so that it actually opens the other direction. There's a whole bunch of reasons why, and I mean, I could explain why, but it also goes into like the floor plan and like why I'm doing that. But
We'll save that for when you do your
yeah,
tour
well, hey,
video. Everybody's going to want to see.
I was gonna say I'll come back on and then we'll talk about it and we can have some fun.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, just so everybody knows, if you have questions, you better get them in there now because I'm only keeping Michael to an hour, but he is willing to come back again another time. Um, since I've been talking with Badge a lot, and next week him and Jax are going to come on and talk about the veggie oil conversion, is that something you've considered doing with your diesels?
Uh, no, I actually was there when we did the conversion up in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure Badge might talk about it when he comes on with you. But I just don't see. So like, there's definitely an environmental value to it, but there's not a cost effective value to it because of the time that it takes to like acquire the oil. It's actually really difficult, and you spend a lot of time filtering to run like 100% vegetable oil. It's actually not as easy as you would think in terms of like saving money or like saving time. It's actually, I think Badge would agree. He can comment and yell at me if I'm wrong because he's the diesel guy. But I think we agreed that it was actually better to run like a partial mix within your tank where you run partially, oil or something, and then you run your diesel. So then it's more of like a 70-30 mix or an 80-20 mix. And it's actually cost effective that way where you can actually, make it happen. Like for me, I burn all my waste motor oil from my buses in the tank. So when I change my oil and I get 6 gallons of oil, I just filter it and then put it into my diesel tank and then run it as fuel because you can run that in your diesels. So it just
Oh,
so it saves you 6 gallons of fuel if you're running a big bus. But I don't know. I mean, they'll talk about it more
yeah.
and then Jax, of course, he's been doing it for now 2 years, I think. So he'll probably have a lot of insights on what it's like to actually live with vegetable oil. But I think when we first put it in, I think that we decided that it was like a really cool idea, but not sure if it's necessarily like everyone should do it because it's
Yeah.
not easy. And I mean, it's I don't know. I think yeah, Jax might have some more input, but I remember him just telling me it wasn't that easy to find it.
So everybody that's watching in the chat, you definitely have to come back to my channel at the same time on Monday, because then we're gonna hit them hard,
Yes.
hard with all these questions. So Michael, you better be in the chat too.
I'll be there. I mean, Dad is probably gonna call me like an hour before to make sure I'm ready. So.
So Bob Zavanter asks, what has been a comment that you enjoyed the most on your channel? That's a good question. That's
yeah,
a tough question.
I appreciate when people comment like either what they're looking for, how the video maybe helped them, because I do try a lot of my videos to make sure that like I'm making it for a purpose and I'm trying to in some way share something about what I'm doing or something that maybe someone, I don't know, they didn't know, or just even if it's a little tidbit, but to know like that people are like, hey, like that was really helpful, that topic. It's helpful because then a lot of times I'll go write a blog about that topic because I knew that someone found that topic helpful, and then I can expound upon it in a future video or like I said, write a blog about it or things like that. So, I mean, I really like when there's like that actual interaction with people. I mean, some people are just like, thanks. Like, I do appreciate it. But it's really fun to actually get into a conversation and kind of see what people are interested in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, throughout our conversation, I can pick up you have various things for social media, but just to go back to the beginning, like what made you think of starting a YouTube channel? What was your inspiration there?
My sister. I actually, so like I didn't. It's funny because I actually now at this point, my entire like my full-time job is within social media marketing and rigs and things of that nature. We run websites and different content around the lifestyle. And I didn't actually start any of it. My sister, when I was building my first bus, started my Instagram, and I had a flip phone. I didn't even know how to use a camera or an iPhone or anything. I went all the way through grad school without anything but a flip phone, and everyone in college thought it was funny when I had an Instagram. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, this is fun. I like doing this. And here I am. So that's kind of just thought it developed into like Instagram, and it was like, oh, let's try YouTube. That sounds like fun. Let's make videos. And my friends were making videos, so I started making videos, and here we are.
So when did you start knowing that your channel was going to work out, that it was going to be a successful channel? What were some of the things that made you go, oh yeah, okay, this is cool. This is cool.
I don't know if I would say like I like still see it as like necessarily like successful in terms of like a company or a business or anything like that, because it's not really, it's more of like, I feel like I started seeing people interacting. I actually started getting feedback and seeing the responses. And I think that's where I kind of knew like, hey, I want to keep doing this because of the interaction there. I'm very fortunate that I've been able to kind of turn that into something that can keep me going. Because, obviously if we all want to keep making videos or sharing content with people, there has to be a way to sustain us doing that. So I am fortunate that I've found a way to kind of do that. But I mean, I don't know. I think about a year ago was when I really started kind of seeing that community really develop on YouTube, because I already was doing a lot on Instagram over there for quite a few years. I mean, I think we're almost up to like 90,000 or something over there, but that's been going for like 5 years. So a lot of people on there were encouraging me to go over to YouTube. So it was just kind of a natural progression.
That's awesome. So Arbor Season asks, people look up to Mike when they're building their bus. Who did Mike look up to?
So when I started building, let's see, it's funny because I'm friends with all these guys now, but like when I was building, there was the Outside Found bus, which are a couple and up in Montana. They sold the bus and they currently don't live on a bus anymore. But I was talking to them. Charlie from Chrome Yellow, if anyone's looking for a bus build, my friend Charlie over in Denver. So he was building his bus. He actually just finished it, I think, at that time. People probably know Dean from the Schoolie or Uncool Dean now. He was building at the same time as me. So, I mean, I think like we didn't all know each other at the time, but like I definitely looked up to what they were doing. And it was kind of fun because now I'm friends with them.
That is so neat, hey? Yeah. Badge is still here. He says with the diesel, the 30% mix is good with the diesel and the oil.
There we go, Badge. Like, listen, I learned.
Oh, he's so funny. So funny. So we have 10 minutes left, guys. Better bang, bang, bang out those questions.
Oh, I mean,
We're going to make.
we can go a little longer if they're there. It's all good. I'm not. I'm fine.
Okay, well, you do product reviews too.
Quite a bit of product reviews.
So how did
Try to
that
look.
even start? How did you get that
I
running?
I don't know. It was kind of one of those things where I live by this theory. When things come your way, you can, and it's something that's either good, not going to hurt you, or like, it's something that could be fun. I just say yes. So like if a company sends me a message and they're like, "Hey, we want you to check out this project," I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I started doing that, and it just kind of turned into this thing where like now some companies just send me stuff and I look at it and figure out how it could be used, if it's going to be good for kind of what I'm using, and if I could recommend it to people. And if not, then it just kind of doesn't go anywhere.
So
But
if it isn't good, do a review and say it's crappy, or
uh,
do you just say no, I'm not reviewing
no,
it?
I don't really find that negativity is ever really a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really like to necessarily like bash people out there like that. Typically, if it's something that I really wouldn't stand behind and I already have the product or something like that, I usually reach out back out to the company and kind of talk to them about why I don't think this would be something I'd want to use, and try to see if it's maybe something they could adjust for a lifestyle. For instance, there was a product I was using that just they had these lines that were for their product that were really stiff, and you couldn't really manipulate them really well. And I was like, this just doesn't work for buses or vans. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I get you want this to be sold in the market and you think it'd be useful, and it could be, but like, it's just way too difficult to use. So I called them back and, talked to them about it. And I let them know, like, if they change it or they want to reach out again, let me know. And, I'll take a look at it. But I mean, it's more of like, for me, I know that there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of products out there. And,
Mm-hmm.
I've luckily, because of hanging out with people like Badge and a lot of other friends on the road, we play with a lot of these products, so I have a lot of experience with them. So I like to kind of help kind of sort through that for people, where they don't have to wonder, did I spend $200 on something that was a waste of time or not? And that happens a lot. So
Well, I think that it's awesome that you took the perspective of giving feedback on how they can improve the product, because if
yep.
somebody's going to improve it to work with what we need,
Mhm.
it's just going to make our own lives better.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's why I think, it is a part of my business model in terms of doing product reviews, and, we all know affiliates and blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a balance between like, hey, like if I'm going to try to market and sell a product and say, hey, this is a good product for people. If it's the right product for people because it was designed correctly and I know it will work, then it's going to sell, and then the company would make money and people would be happy, and it's good. If I market a product that I know is not going to work, it's not going to sell and people aren't going to be happy. So like, why would you do that?
So, have you ever thought of doing another business as well, where there's a particular product that you're creating, that's your brand,
I
fits in
mean,
the lifestyle?
not in terms of like a product, like a for sale product per se. I mean, I do occasionally build buses and rigs and then just sell them, things like that. But I mean, those are usually pretty one and done. Most people don't even hear about them because I usually sell them before they even go up, kind of thing, or whatnot. The only thing that I am currently working on is I am working on a full ebook series, actually, of going through the step-by-step process of actually doing and building a bus. So like the first part will actually be coming out in like 2 to 3 weeks. If
Ooh,
anyone's
you
watching
heard
the
it
channel,
here,
you'll
folks.
know. But yeah, I've been actually endlessly typing and working on that. So if anyone's like, "Why are your videos slowing down?" It's because I'm like typing in the background like endlessly to get all this
Oh.
stuff done. Because I think the big passion for me is seeing people who live on the road do it and fulfill their dreams, but doing it safely. I've unfortunately over the last 5 years seen a lot of really dangerous and like actually things that fell off people's buses, and electrical fires and things that I'm just like, that is so preventable. Why not create something that might be able to help people? So that's what I've been working on right now. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I will finally be done with it, and then I can put it up on the website. But yeah, that's the kind of the first big thing.
I can't even imagine how much work that is, Michael. Oh my
It's
goodness.
it's endless, but it's worth it.
Well, once it's done, right?
Yeah. No, because then we got to do the next one because people have to know how to build it, and we have to go through the whole thing. So I'll just keep
Well,
writing.
we have a very valid question. When
Yeah.
do you sleep?
I do. I don't sleep.
You just totally hesitated on that.
I don't sleep much. I don't know why. I'm one of those people who like you sleep for like 4 hours and then you're up and then you can sleep for 4 hours and up. Like it's kind of like the captain's sleep schedule. So like I don't know. I love what I do. You can't sleep when your brain's always moving. It's just fun. Like
I don't have that problem.
In the driveway, and I just want to work on it.
Dreams on Wheels says, yeah, sleep's overrated. You guys, yeah, I'm a baby if I don't get 8 to 9 hours.
Oh, man.
Oh, how do you have the energy?
I won't eventually, I'm sure. Like all my friends who are older than me tell me I'll slow down eventually, and I'm like, well, then I better keep going fast now. I don't know.
Oh, good answer. Oh my gosh. So, and I've asked other guests that are single, because you are single, right?
Yep.
So, what is dating like for you? I mean,
I don't know.
Not even the fact that you're in a bus, but you are so flippin' busy, Michael.
Yeah, I like to say I got the two best relationships out in the driveway, and I don't know. It's where it is. No,
you've answered that question before. Then.
I've gotten that question a lot. It's like one of those like in every single YouTube video, it always comes up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always try to tell people like it's not something that I focus on. I really do love what I do. I have a really great group of friends. I mean that most of them all live on the road, and like I don't know. It's one of those things where like I don't feel like I need to go and date or do anything because I mean there's always people around. I'm never alone. I mean,
your life is full, right?
Yeah. Life is full, and I'm happy. So like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm happy.
That's awesome.
And I encourage people to live that way. Like if you don't feel like there's a pressure there, like go get a van and just go travel or go get a bus. I mean, you don't have to wait. Just go for it. Yeah.
Badge says Michael is my American son.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Except Badge doesn't like my New York syrup.
Oh, because it's not the actual maple syrup?
He thinks Canadian syrup's better. I'm sending him some of my syrup when I make it this February. And
what, Aunt Jemima?
No, it's right out of the trees in the backyard.
You have maple trees?
Oh yeah. I'm up in state New York. I'm like pretty much we have the better trees that came down from Ontario.
Oh, yeah, the good ones went south, just like our snowbirds. Oh, my gosh.
You're too much fun.
So you make your own maple syrup, too?
Well, yeah, this spring will be the first time that I'm actually going to tap my own trees. Because, I mean, I can't travel, really. And I was like, I've always wanted to do it. I've never been able to do it myself. And I've got some really good neighbors who've been doing it for, like, generations. So I'm like, let's do it.
Going Green Mom's like, they do exist here, Paula. Sorry, guys. That area of the States I have absolutely no idea about. Absolutely no idea about. And Gina's like, trees just walked right down, eh? She sounds Canadian and just adds an A on there. Dale asks, how's Rick? Was that to you or to someone in the chat?
He's asking me. Doing good. He's doing good. He's a friend of mine up here. There were a lot of guys who come visit. They all get to meet him. And he's doing good, Dale.
Go Oshawa. Arbor season. Where are you?
Canadian. Don't even talk
Canadian?
to him. I know him.
Hey, I talk to a lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Oh man.
Oh my. What does this say? Homemade syrup is so good. Been there, done that.
Isn't it?
Well,
I agree. It's so better than that, like, I don't know, like fake syrup, sugar stuff. Once you go, you'll never go back.
Huh.
Born and raised.
Gina says she's practicing for when Bad Janelle adopt her. Whoa, Chicky Poo. Me first. I don't care if you met them first.
I got adopted. I'm adopted. They just won't let me in the country because of COVID.
Yeah, that's the whole reason the borders are shut down, so you can't come up here.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to help Badge with that trailer. We've been talking about it. He's got that new trailer, and now he's doing it all by himself now. Well, maybe not by himself, but we all can't go up and help him. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. He does so much to help people. It's kind of like, what can I even do to give
yeah,
back?
I know. Yeah, yeah. I think. I mean, I don't know. Do you have a copy of the commercials or anything, or do you want me to do a nice little pitch?
Oh, I can run a commercial right now if you
Oh,
want.
yeah, I was gonna say because Badge has a really good goal by the end of the year. I don't know where he's at because I think he said he's still not announcing where he's at. I don't know if he said
He
ever.
has a ways to go because he was going to
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
2020 for 2020 bars of Hero soap.
yes. So if anyone wants to help Badge hit his goal, you can help him by going and getting a bar soap, and it supports veterans in Canada and the U.S. And yeah, I mean, if you have a commercial you want to play, go for it.
Yeah, let's pop one in there quick. I do have quite a few of them, and I just had Blind Views on
Yeah.
the other day, and he's the voice behind it, except for this one. The one I usually play is the only one that isn't Blind Views talking over.
Each year, thousands of seasonal travelers suffer from a condition known as SNS, more commonly referred to as stinky nomad syndrome. The good news is that there is a cure. Visit herosoapcompany.com today and help Batch end the scourge of needless funk, while also helping veterans in need. Just pick your soap and enter Batch at checkout for your discount and help a vet today. It's that easy.
You're doing me a favor by buying soap, and Hero Soap Company's giving back to the soldiers. So it's a whole pay forward thing. This means a lot to me. As you know, I was in the airborne for 9 years, and it means a lot. I believe in the soap. I've tried it. It works awesome, and that's why I'm doing this.
Man, I missed that.
I know, there's our Badge. I get to see him this weekend, him and Elle. Yay. Except I've been trying everywhere to find this Halloween candy in town that's his favorite candy. It's in his 40 questions challenge, and I can't find it.
Well,
So,
trying to think where you could find it.
I'm gonna, because I don't
You
live in a
have a
very
10-hour drive.
big
You gotta
city.
find
I'm gonna go to the next bigger place on my way and stop in some Walmarts or something and see if I
And then
can find it.
in the night, you'll be fine.
Yeah, just spend the night in Walmart.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I find
Yeah.
churches are really good too. Where are some of your favorite places to stay if you're in a city or town?
If I'm on the east coast of the U.S., like Cracker Barrels are my favorite. I mean, there are some out west, I guess, in some of the more major cities, but they allow overnight parking. They have like RV spots like in their parking lots. So, yeah, I usually like those. I mean, Walmarts are great. I mean, just in terms of like good park and stop, rest areas and things like that. But they're a lot more noisy. I always find that Cracker Barrels are quiet because the business shuts down at night, so there's no one there.
We have a lot of casinos, not
Oh.
like the ones that are run by First Nations. They have specific parking even for RVs and different things like that. So
Yeah.
I always think that's pretty cool. And they have security cameras and they have lights, and so if you're a little nervous, I feel like it's pretty secure.
Yeah.
But I don't mind truck stops. I stopped in one and didn't realize I was going to be surrounded by all these giant trucks. And at first I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I just got half a dozen eyes on me anyways. So if anyone does anything, someone else is going to see.
I know. Hey, and I'll quickly say about rest areas because I've met a lot of truckers. I don't know anyone like personally or in my family that's a trucker, but I've met a lot of truckers in the rest areas. If you're gonna park there, make sure you stay out of their way because those guys are like the one guy was telling me he's like he gets so mad at the RVs because like they're commercial guys. They sleep for 8 hours and they have to get back on the road. And when we park like right up against them, they have a really hard time getting out sometimes. So if you're gonna park in a rest area with your big bus or something, think about a trucker. Because I've been told that apparently, like, sometimes they have some trouble, and if we can help them not be frustrated, I feel like, do something. So I always like to say that because I've had quite a few guys tell me that, and I'm like, well, if I can do
That's good to know. That's really good to know.
I mean, they're 60 foot, 48 foot long, and they got to, pull around you. You've got to leave them some tail swing, otherwise, they're going to have some trouble. So, and they will wake you up and move you. So,
Wow.
So.
Well, where I was parked, it was almost like a giant field just covered in gravel. And so I just picked a spot and they came alongside. Actually, I parked in behind one big one and then the others came alongside. No one came behind me.
Yeah.
But it was all good.
Yeah. No, they're great spots. Sometimes a little loud because they run their generators, but whatever. Not everyone can
Um,
be off-grid.
what's maybe been one of the worst experiences that you've had on the road other than the no-see-ums?
Oh, I was gonna say that was definitely one of the worst. The second worst night of the road when I was living in Navi was I was out. I think I was in West Virginia, and it was like January, and it was 30 degrees in the valley, and I was going over 71 towards Virginia. And there's this rest area, which I forget what it's called, but it's like right at the border, and it's at like a pretty high altitude for West Virginia. And I decided, oh, this is a great rest area. It's empty. I'm going to park here for the night. And it dropped to like -10. And I was frozen, absolutely frozen. And it was one of those nights where I was like, should I just get up and drive? Should I just stay there? I had no clue. All I know is I had like a million blankets, my sleeping bag, and all my clothes, which is like 2 jackets on. And, there we go. That was the
Wow.
worst. Like, just know that when you go up in altitude, lesson learned, it gets colder.
That is good stuff for me to know because you've been through like the Saskatchewan, Alberta. I live in the prairies.
Yeah. Well, you
Right?
get cold. Hey, you get that Arctic wind coming through,
Yeah.
so you still know
Yeah.
cold.
But I mean, altitude, I would have never thought of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Because we're
something that
just
you
one
realize.
straight plane.
Yeah, if you go up like 1,000, like literally, like I remember I was in Arizona by like the Prescott Forest, which is northern Arizona. If you're up in the mountains, you'll get like feet of snow. But if you go down to Phoenix, it could be like 90 degrees. But all you did was like go down like, a few thousand feet in elevation, and like it's completely different areas. So like definitely something to think about when you're going through your like boondocking map on the, on your cell phone. Like take a look at the altitude, because it might be an awesome spot at 9,000 feet, but if it's December, you don't want to go there probably. You might want to find somewhere else.
Yeah. Do you have a phone dinging?
Yeah, it's my brother texting me about all the things that I should be mentioning right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, yeah.
What should we be hearing?
So what he was saying is like a good example is last week I took him up to Whiteface Mountain, which is up in northern New York by the Canadian border. It's where like Lake Placid, where the Olympics happened back in 1980 and 32, I think it is. But Whiteface is the Olympic mountain where they did all the skiing and stuff. And when I was there with him actually 2 weeks ago, it was like 30 degrees at the base of the mountain, and the top of the mountain was -5. And it was only like 2,000 feet of elevation gain. So like there's a good example of like complete snow, like below freezing Fahrenheit, and then down at the base of the mountain, you're like in a sweatshirt.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Van City Adventures, Daryl likes that. Gina asks, how did Navi start after being that cold?
Not too great. So both my buses have diesel block heaters, so like I can get them started in cold
But they have to
weather.
be plugged in.
Yeah, they'd have to be plugged in. So if it's really cold and the bus really doesn't want to start, I've never had it not start, but it's definitely been one of those things where like you just have to kind of let it go, let it warm, and try to see if you can go through. But I mean, I've had it start in like -10, no problem. You just got to let the glow plugs go through and kind of let the engine just do its
I'm trying
thing.
to think of what that would be because you're talking Fahrenheit.
Oh yeah, so
it's colder. It's colder than I'm hearing. Because isn't 30
like,
freezing for you or something?
I forget what it is. It's like double the number, -7, or I don't know. I forget what it is. Badge could
Well,
probably.
I know once we hit -40, we're all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. So like,
That's
let's
when
put it
people
this
quit
way.
counting.
It's probably as cold because Badge said it was -6 Celsius. It's about there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So Badge says, ask him when he sleeps when he gets in a truck as a passenger. Oh, what, do you fall asleep every time you're a passenger?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I fall asleep every time I'm a passenger. I really do. I fall asleep. Yeah,
Oh,
me and Badge,
32 is 0. Okay, Rob on the road,
Yeah.
do you want to look up what -10 Fahrenheit is in Celsius?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Justin and Christine is here too. Awesome. Yeah, maybe you guys can let me know if he's saying -10 Fahrenheit. What does that mean to me? Because, I always thought maybe Canada was so much colder than places in the States. But really, when you hear the numbers, oh yeah, Fahrenheit versus, because I
Yeah.
thought 0 was the same for everyone.
No, I mean you guys definitely get colder. I mean where I'm at, like where I'm currently at, and where I'm from now, we definitely get cold because I mean we get in Fahrenheit. I mean last year I saw -35 without wind chill, but it's also like my very localized area for some reason gets really cold. But I mean I feel like where Badge is at and where you're at in the prairies, I feel like you guys get that like Minnesota cold. You guys get that. I mean,
Oh, there
yeah,
is
it just
several
gets cold.
times a year, like our school bus systems,
Yeah.
once we hit -44 with the wind chill, school
Mhm.
buses don't run.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we have a fair bit of times in January and February where the school buses aren't running.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Rob on the road says, so that was equivalent to -23 Celsius. Thank you. So that's our normal cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Justin and Christina. They got it too.
Yeah.
0 Fahrenheit is -17, so basically a British summer. Now everybody's checking the temperatures for me. Oh, everybody's so awesome.
It's good for us to know because I mean I know whenever I cross the border, they get those big signs. They're like, think metric, and I'm like, what? How do I think metric? I don't know how to do that. So I mean,
all our stuff is multiples of 10, right? So it makes it easier that way.
So much easier.
But I grew up where in certain things I know both systems and in other things I don't. Like as far as temperatures, I know that 70 Fahrenheit is room temperature, which is 20 Celsius.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I knew that. I just didn't know what the cold ones were. I know inches versus centimeters, miles versus kilometers. It's we kind of, because the older generation did it the way you guys do in the States.
Yeah.
But we learned the other way in school. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually know that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny's Journey. Thanks for coming in. So, yeah, multiples of 10, not for temperature, for measurement of length and distance.
Oh, yeah. Meters and
10 centimeters is blah, blah, blah. 10 meters is blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, yeah, I was going to say, I know it's more logical in terms of like easy to know, but I mean, unless I feel like you're in like chemistry or maybe some forms of engineering, maybe, I don't really know. I've never used it at all.
Well, you know what? I find it really cool the way we have it to figure out how long it's going to take me to get somewhere. Because, for example, Badge is just over 1,000 kilometers away from me. And we go 100 kilometers an hour, so he's 10 hours away.
Oh, well, there you go.
Easy peasy.
I know Badge is a lifetime away because I'm not allowed to get there.
What did I just miss here? Steampunk Steve says, I lived close to Lake Ontario and listened to Toronto radio and watched Canadian TV. I can think in metric. Well, he can think in it.
A few weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, aren't you lucky?
I know, I was lucky. He like messed
Someone
me.
needs to check on that man.
I know, he like whacked his face pretty good. Have you seen it on Facebook?
I saw. Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
No, Steve, you better be okay. You had the bus issue at first, and now you fell or during your walk, or I didn't get to read the whole post yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you gotta watch it. We gotta see you again. So you gotta take care of your bus and yourself.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of interviewing him on here as well and got to meet him that way. And I mean, I'm not having the opportunity to meet everyone in person right now, but this is the next best thing, and it's awesome. I'm meeting people that it would have been rare to necessarily run across them on 1 or 2 road trips, right? But now I'm meeting all these people from all over the place, and it's quite exciting.
Yeah. It's a good opportunity too, because like you were saying earlier, like because we're all kind of somewhat stuck where we are in a way. I mean, why not? It's a good opportunity. I mean, It's fun.
Yeah, we know a lot of people in a lot of places. Steve says he's fine. I'll be pretty again in no time. Oh, you're still pretty, Steve. Pretty with an owie on your cheek. Oh, man. I almost wonder if we get started to any other topic. It might take a while.
I mean...
Your brother say there's anything else you need to mention?
No, he just wanted to make sure I mentioned about the temperatures on top of Whiteface.
The one thing I'm afraid to do, and I mean, I only had the ambulance. I mean, you've driven stuff so much bigger, but I'm afraid to drive in the mountains.
Sure. Yeah.
Did you have any difficulty with it, or?
No, I mean, I think if you've never driven in the mountains, obviously, I mean, you got to be wary of like the roads. Like if you're driving, in my opinion, if you've never driven a large vehicle and you start seeing those like yellow signs about trucks, follow those, not the white ones that are about cars and you know, other things. Like when it says slow down, use lower gear, just listen to that one. Because like I know like my big bus is like 21,000 pounds. That's a pretty heavy vehicle, and it's got air brakes. It's something where like you should listen to that sign. So I mean, you're totally fine. It's, you know, not much different than driving a car. It's just that you got to think that you're having a bit more weight. So, you know, you just want to take things slow. And, you know, I like to say you just live life in the bus lane. Just take your time.
Oh, look at you with all the catchphrases. I don't know. I think, oh man, I don't know. Like I've driven in the mountains in a small car. That's one thing, but I'm still getting used to driving such a big vehicle.
You know who's a really good teacher?
Who?
Madge.
We only got so much time when I'm out there. That poor man's going to be just worked ragged when I get there.
Oh, but
everything is put it on the list. Put it on the list.
That's exactly right. If I know Badge, he's not going to not get them done. He's going to be like, you need to learn how to drive? All right, let's do it. I mean, he doesn't leave any stone unturned, so...
I have been told that if I ever have to replace my brakes, I should look into the brakes that they use on tow trucks.
You'd have to ask Badge about that one.
Yeah, you don't know?
I don't know much.
Oh, I came across something where, you have a Mercedes engine in your school bus? How does that happen? That can't be normal.
It is in the Freightliners from, I think, 02 to 05. They used to run the Caterpillars, and then they switched to the Mercedes for a few years, and they went back. So you can find them in certain vehicles. It's funny. So everyone always laughs at me about the Mercedes because they're like, oh, like that's such an expensive engine, and like, oh, that must cost so much money. And I'm like, actually, it's the cheapest Mercedes you can buy because it's made in Detroit, so it's all just Freightliner parts, and like you can get them at any Freightliner in the country, and it's really not that expensive. And I know because I spoke to Badge about this. It's a great engine, and we love it. It's like the engine you can't find, and everyone thinks it's scary, but it's like super powerful, straight six. Like I love that Mercedes engine.
Nice.
Hands down.
You know, that makes me think of something else. There's some people that I've watched that have traveled into Mexico, and they're, depending on what year their motor is, they're concerned about the type of diesel that gets put in it. Now, the 204 and my 2005 were pre-emissions, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So does that mean different grades of diesel will work better in ours?
I actually don't know. So I'd have to refer you probably over to Badge in the comments or any other diesel mechanics. Yeah, that would be one I'd actually have to ask him. I've never had an issue. So I don't know. I wouldn't know the differences between different engines. I know the engines that I particularly have, and I know the engines I've worked on, but that's about where it goes. So I have a lot more to learn once the borders open in a specific place in Squatterville where I can learn more about engines and tinker. So, I mean, hopefully there's a lot more there.
There is a lot of satisfaction in knowing how, like, the learning of doing things yourself and knowing how to fix it or how to change it. Or, you know, when I started, like, I did my own solar as well, but I was very intimidated at first. And then you watch so much and you break it down. Like, I didn't even know there was AC and DC power. I had I knew nothing, Michael, nothing.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's just so rewarding to go, okay, now I know how to troubleshoot a little bit on that.
Yeah, and that gives
Motors
so much more confidence. Like, that's so much more confidence. Like, driving down the road, if you're by yourself driving on the road boondocking, like, it's a lot of confidence to know that if this thing doesn't start in the morning, you have some basic working knowledge to be like, all right, what can I do? Because, I mean, that's the scariest thing is, like, what if I get stuck? What if I break down? You know, what if something happens? And, like, the more you can educate yourself and the more you can surround yourself with people who you can learn from, like, the less and less worried you're going to be because you're going to become more and more confident. I mean, that's, like, number one thing that I've learned. Because, like, when I started building my first bus, I mean, I had basic construction skills. I knew how to use power tools, but, like, I did not have any bit of the knowledge that I do now. it took me 4 years of just learning from people and just listening and talking with them and trying to put all the information in my head. And like now I can say that like, oh yeah, I can do those things, but that's not where I started. And I mean, I think that's hopefully similar for a lot of people, you know, like you may not know a lot now, but as long as you keep learning and keep persevering, I mean, you're going to pick things up along the way.
Well, the motor, like all of that engine stuff, is what is going to be the very last thing I want to learn.
Yeah, right. That's
But
okay.
but I found too, like I had a false sense of security, thinking, well, okay, I have CAA, which is like your AAA. If I have a breakdown, but because it's an E450, I'm not covered. So what did you like? What would you have done with yours? Because you would be bigger.
Yeah. So I this is one of those things where like I don't encourage anyone do this, but I kind of pull the badge theory where like when a tire blows in the rear, I just cut the tire off or like pull it off and then just run on 3 wheels until I can get somewhere to get a new tire. My differential fell out because my U-joint broke. So like I just jerry rigged it up and got it back together and then just like drove to the next place and got a new U-joint. I know like Bad just taught me a lot of that kind of stuff where he like broke down and I've seen him fix things with like stuff we found on the side of the road. So I mean,
Yeah, but that's badge,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I'm just happy I got to learn from him because now it's like I can think outside the box of like, oh, this is just an engine. It's fuel in, fuel out. Here we go. You know, how can we get this thing running? You know, is kind of a way that I mean, I've started to think about it. So I actually don't have any way to get a tow or anything. I don't even consider like needing a tow. I actually blew my turbo up in the Yukon. I was driving up to past Whitehorse towards Teslin, you know, that area, Watson Lake. And I was driving south at like 2 a.m. on the Alcan and my turbo blew and I heard it go. I just heard it start whistling and I was like, I turned back. I had 3 friends on the bus and I was like, well, our turbo just went. And if anyone doesn't know, that pretty much means in a diesel, like you have no power. You can like step on the gas and you're not going to go past like idle. You just can't do anything without the turbo. So I just idled. I idled from Watson Lake to Teslin, or Teslin, Teslin. But it's like far. It's a Yukon, and I just idled for 6 hours until I got back to town through the middle of the night. That's what I did, and I didn't see a single person the whole way because there was no one there.
I guess you do what you have to do, but yeah, you're out there. You're so isolated.
Yeah. But I mean, you're in your home though. So like, my theory is like, what does it matter? Like, I got my kitchen, I got my clothes, I got my computer, I can work, I can do whatever. So like, if I have to sit here for 3 days, what do I care? Like,
I forgot that. Yeah, when you're going to be doing that, you're living your lifestyle, so things will be different.
Yeah, nothing changed. Nothing changed except I have no choice in what I'm doing. And what I like to always say is like my bus is a character in my life. It makes decisions for me sometimes. So like I wanted to go south. I wanted to go back to the States and like go visit some friends, but the bus wanted to stay in the Yukon. So we stuck around in the Yukon for 3 or 4 weeks. But the cool thing is like, and this is something like I know I push on my channel and I try to encourage people like take those opportunities, because the one thing that I've learned over the last 4 years is that when the bus breaks down, it's usually when I meet the coolest people and I think outside the box, because so often we want to drive, we want to get to a location, we want to do something, and we miss everything in between. And like when the bus broke down, I was stuck in Teslin, which if anyone's gone to the Alcan, they'll know where it is. It's a small town, and I lived there for 3 weeks, and I met like so many people in town. I met some of the people from the First Nation up there, and they took me on some of their trappers lines, and they took me off on like I forget what it was called, but it was like their like spiritual hike to one of their mountains, and like we got to go with them, and they invited us, and like I would have never done that if the bus didn't decide to break down. So you can look at it positively or you can look at it negatively, and I would encourage you to just look at the positives and just know that you're with your home and it doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness, you are so inspirational. Wise beyond your years.
Because of the older people around me that have taught me.
Well, you know what? I think it's because maybe you listen to them, right? There's a lot of people that are surrounded by people that have all sorts of wisdom. We just meh. slough it
Yeah.
off, right? But
Yeah.
you know that what they have to say is valuable, and that's made a
Well,
huge
and
difference.
there's so much wisdom on the road. There's so
Yeah.
many people out there. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Michael, we're at like a buck 26 here now, an hour and 26
Oh
minutes.
man.
I'm gonna have to let you go. I'm starting to feel guilty.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay. We all get
Because we
tired.
probably could sit and talk for hours.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
my next question is like, where's your next adventure going to be when you can go anywhere you want to go?
that's a fun question actually. I have plans. I just don't know if they're going to be able to happen necessarily. So like I have plans to take the new bus and the old bus actually on like a fun joint trip where we're going to go out and like visit some friends out in like California and Baja, Mexico. But I don't know if that's going to happen. And then I also have this one big plan where I've actually never been to. The only place I haven't been in North America is Newfoundland. And I really want to go, but I can't get to Canada. So like, I don't know if I'm just going to keep building things or if traveling is going to open up a bit where I might just head back out on the road. I don't know. I'm going to probably just kind of wait and see what happens because, yeah.
At some point, things are going to change.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to
Yeah.
be able to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's when I'll head back on out and we'll go visit people and hang out and I don't know, it'd be fun. Yeah, I'm excited to get back out there on the road.
That's great. Michael, thank you so much for everything today.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came here. It's so nice to get to know you and talk to you.
I know it's been fun. I mean, and like I said, if you're doing more talks and stuff, and you want to have some fun, I'm more than willing to come on, and we'll have some fun conversations and stuff. I mean, I just love everything about the ideas of buses, vans, box trucks, the community traveling. It's just fun. So I mean,
Yeah.
when it's fun to meet with other people who are also excited about it, it's always a good time. So yeah,
Well,
thanks
thank
for
you
having
so
me.
much for being the inspiration that you are.
Thanks, and thank you for having me. But and
Not a
good luck with
problem.
Badge. Say hi to Badge. You know, give him a hug for all of us because most of us can't give him a hug. And
I
say hi to
will.
Elle and everyone because you know we can't, but you know it'll be fun.
I will definitely give them each a hug from you. Thank you so much.
Great.
And we'll have to have you on again.
Yeah, for sure. See ya.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.